Well, we've come from the kitchen back to the garden. We're getting a lot of questions relevant to the garden now. A lot of them about trees. People are asking if they can prune their trees in the summer. Now, people have bought homes and they buy a new house. They've got trees that need to be taken care of. They wonder, can I prune it now? Other people were busy during the winter, were busy in the spring, and now they're on vacation. They wonder, well, can I do it now? You can if there's a real functional need to, if it's blocking traffic or something. But you need to know something about pruning. The leaves on the tree are really important to the tree. In the spring, when this leaf is produced, energy is taken from the tree and drawn out into the buds to produce the leaves. And you've got to keep these leaves fed. So it's drawing it out of the tree. So now that it has consumed some of the money in the bank, if you consider the food the money in the bank for this. First thing that leaf does is feed itself until it matures. Then it begins to feed the twig. In the spring, there are some cherries on a tree like this, so it feeds the cherries. Then once the cherries are gone, it begins to feed more of the branches. And throughout the year, the feeding moves back through the plant. So by late summer, it's feeding the trunk of the tree, and there's food being stored in the trunk to be able to produce the new leaves in the spring. So these leaves are important. But it's also important to realize that they also have to provide food for the roots. And toward the end of the summer, in the fall, food is going into the roots, being stored there, preparing for root growth. And a lot of root growth occurs in the fall. So we want to take care of the leaves. We don't want to cut them off if we don't have to. So we cut those we need to cut off. And if we cut a little bit, it's not going to be a major problem for the tree. But if we cut a lot of the branches with leaves on it, we can do a lot of damage. Early in the spring is the worst time because that's when the money's been drawn out of the bank before anything's been put back in the bank. So we want to be careful. Later in the summer, it's going to be less damaging. As we get into fall, okay, we're getting safe. In the summer, though, is a really good time to prune back dead branches, weak branches, dying branches. Let's go look at some of that. Summer's a good time to be pruning deadwood because you can distinguish the deadwood from the living tissue in the summer. In the winter, you can't tell the difference between that that's dormant and that that's dead. So now let's come and prune off a dead branch, and let's do it according to the rules we've taught before. We need to remember that we need to make 3 cuts. The first cut's going to be back here close to the tree at what we call the branch collar, but we come out from that a little bit and we make an undercut. And so we'll cut underneath it here. Then we'll go out a little further, we'll make a top cut, which is further out so that as a branch breaks down, the bark will not rip down the tree. But then we make our finish or final cut right here at the branch collar. We want to remember to be careful of the branch collar. This is material, the swollen part of the base of the branch, that really belongs to the trunk. So we don't want to cut into that. We want to cut close to it, but we don't want to cut it if we can avoid that. So let's see what we have here. Got one. Second cut. And that's our final cut. We didn't rip any bark. The dead wood is gone. We can tell what's alive now because we left the live on the tree.